Okay, welcome back to part two of the Japanese 1890s start playthrough. We're calling it The Rise of the Dragon, and myself being the tiny little dragon. It's very appropriate. I'm trying a new method, so if you stuck with me through the initial live stream that I did for part one, then this ought to be a little bit more clear. There should be less fuzziness on the screen. I've adjusted my voice volume. Hopefully my voice volume will be a little bit better as well. If not, we will keep, you know, raising the decibels on it until it is at an acceptable level. I finished my first video pretty much early this morning in the AM, and here I am back again, and I want to give it another try because, it was pretty fun. I got a couple of encouraging comments on the last video. One from RVT Wargames himself, who has an excellent gaming channel in general, but especially with Roll the Waves 3. He's very analytical. You should go check him out. And I got another uh, more detailed and uh, full of suggestions comment from McDaniel. And he, well, number one, he appears to be from Borneo, which we just captured, which is kind of fun. Well, we didn't really capture it. We just sort of had a coup, and it's ours now. No fighting involved. But he did have a couple suggestions, and we're going to go over those right now to start things out. The first one, he said, get rid of the Fujis. They're rubbish. And they have terrible armor and terrible secondaries. Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to take another look at them. He's right about the armor. He's right about the secondaries. He's right about it being rubbish in general. Now, the only thing I really hesitate about getting rid of these things is that we are pretty outnumbered by our main threat here, China, as far as I think like in weight, right? We're catching up. I seem to recall we had about 50,000 or so tonnage, and they had what they have now. And we've closed the gap a little bit. But the problem is going to be the blockade power. I think if a war kicks off here, it's going to come down to blockade power. We have 38, they have 58, and the Fujis are worth 9 each. So that's 18 of our 38. So we'd be going down to 20. We'd be way less than half. We'd be almost a third of the Chinese blockade force. Now, I suppose the issue is that they're essentially useless in combat. So how much is that 1/3 or so of the blockade force worth compared to things like maintenance and just sort of having, I guess there's really no other cost other than the maintenance of having them around. Now the maintenance on them is 98, which honestly that's not bad. I mean, we're paying 90 for this new Akashi we just built. We'll probably be paying 90 for the next one. So we're paying just a little bit more than we would for these new light cruisers. We're paying less than uh, we do for these Yayamas. Still not entirely sure how to pronounce them. So the question becomes, is it worth losing the blockade force just to save essentially 200 maintenance per month? We are in the red. We're at minus essentially 800, but that's kind of temporary. I mean, we're getting rid of the majority of that in a couple of months while we develop the rest of the light cruisers. So I think McDaniel, as much as it's a good suggestion, I think we need to hold on to those for now. Just in case a war breaks out, we're going to need the blockade power. I mean, if we lose them in a fight, we lose them in a fight. But not being blockaded will probably be more important than the 98 maintenance per month, I think. Let's take a look. His second suggestion is to try achieve superiority, uh, rather than rough parity with China, sort of a short-term goal. Well, that is something that we are working on now with these light cruisers. Perhaps once we have a little bit bigger docks, that'll be probably well into 1893. We should have a little bit bigger docks. We could start looking into building some eight, yeah, like some 7 or 8,000 ton heavy cruisers. And those cruisers would probably be gunboats, like 6-inch gunboats, since our 7-inch and up is pretty bad. But that would give us some more tonnage. That would give us some more blockade power, and that would make us able to compete with the Chinese heavy cruisers and maybe even the Spanish only have 2 heavy cruisers, so that would give us superiority with them. So that's another sort of short-term goal here. And he says he thinks I should assign my gunboats to guard Borneo instead of my armored cruisers. And he also suggests that I set the percentage of my shells to have more HE than AP, because this time period AP shells won't penetrate or just won't hit at all. All right, well, we can do that. Let's take a look at doctrine. I never really messed with this. Um, hmm. I don't actually know how to mess with this very much. So I guess what the ammo loadout percentages. So how do we do this? We do that. We'll go with like what, 60%? And take those down. We'll do 30% and 30%. And we'll save those changes, and hopefully that's what he means. Okay. Let's go ahead and close that up. And we can swap out the gunboats. So we have these lighter gunboats. We'll throw that to Borneo, I guess. And we can bring our heavy cruiser back into the active fleet. And we could even move it back to, how the heck do we do that? There we go, back to Northeast Asia. And that'll essentially trade out a 4 blockade for a 6. And hopefully that'll also give us enough tonnage on foreign stations to keep that covered. I think it was around 4,000, so 4,500 should do it. So that is all the bookkeeping for uh, this particular episode. Let's just kind of jump into the new year and see how it goes. So let's save the game and hit next turn and see what we get. Another attempt at a new technology that we didn't get. We got some tension increases with the US and Germany, which is not fantastic. We don't really want to go to war with Germany. Oh, nice. We get some more funding for the Navy. That's really good. There's what these Spanish battleships they're building look like. So, I mean, they're not really much better, if at all, than our Fujis. Another attempt at technology. And we'll hit save. And we're pretty close to getting the new Akashi built. So we'll maybe send that one down to Borneo as well. So we'll have the pair. They can kind of work together. There it is. Tension went down with Germany, but it went up with the USA, which is okay. We'll keep on building up the dockyards. Let's go ahead and move this one down to Southeast Asia to join its little buddy. We'll set that to active fleet, and we'll put both of those in like the sixth cruiser division, so it's sort of independent down there doing its own thing. We're at a little bit of a surplus on the budget now. We're still far behind pretty much all the major powers except for Spain, and we're, sort of close to the USA, but they're gonna explode here soon and get way out of our reach. So how close are we to getting our new light cruisers? About 10 months. So we'll go ahead and carry on. We have some defenses in Borneo now. Tension went down with the US a little bit. We have 1,000 surplus now. We'll let that ride for a couple of turns probably, and then we can look into finding something to do with it. Maybe, so our home islands should start with some kind of defenses. That one doesn't. That one does. So maybe we'll invest that now and just build a few guns up there in Hokkaido. Hokkaido? I think it's probably Hokkaido. Probably sounds a little bit more accurate, although I'm sure I'm wrong. There we go. Another attempt. Okay. We're not getting very far. Look at this. We're just okay. Tension with China has gone up, so we are getting into the danger zone of, starting a war with them. I would really like to delay that until these, well, these are my battleship killers, until those are ready to go. So our technology sharing agreement with Russia has been a great benefit in naval gun manufacture. We have more ships in Southeast Asia than we can support. So we might need to bring one of those home, or actually we can just build a naval base down there. That'll start increasing. Let's actually bring one of those home so we don't run into any unexpected problems until we can get that built up. We'll save it. Okay, so we could make some concessions to China, and that would lower the tension with them a little bit. Or we could say no concessions, symbolic or not, and gain prestige. I mean, we're not exactly at war with them yet. We're close. So maybe we can ride this current level of tension out for a few more months and get those cruisers into action. So maybe we'll just go with the prestige. Now, we could be in some trouble like next month. There could be very well be a chance that China shoots up in tension level on us. So let's go ahead. Oh, that's pretty good. The world economy has recovered after the crisis, so can expect our yearly budget to go up a little bit. Tension with Russia has gone down. That's good. We gained, I don't know, about 5,000 to the yearly budget, which translates into, probably a couple hundred more monthly balance. All right. The guns are finished in Hokkaido. I'm sure I'm embarrassing myself with these Japanese pronunciations. I should have just gone with the US again. That way, I seem a little bit less ignorant. Of course, I am American, so, I've got the American education. I can barely speak English, let alone Japanese. Lots of tensions changing, mostly going down. Looks like Spain and the US, theirs are going up. We can check the relations. Let's see, Spain, they're not happy with us, and they're getting unhappy with both Russia and the US. Now, we seem to be the only nation that has yellow level of relations with others, which it might just sort of be like the game itself. You dogpile on the player. Uh-oh. Tension with China has gone up. Now we are in the danger zone. We have probably about 3 more months before our first light cruisers are actually commissioned and worked up. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start making those some room. So we're going to move these to like the 4th division, and we're going to move these to the 3rd division. That'll free up 1 and 2 for these incoming cruisers. There's the 1st and the 2nd. Uh-oh. Yep, we are in danger of going to war with China now. All right, so let's go ahead and throw these into the 1st division. As I understand it, the longer ships are in a division together, the sort of better they can perform. At least that's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not. So here we go. Are we going to war with China right now? So a local warlord has started an uprising in Hainan. That's I believe that's an island in the south of China there, that island that sticks out. I mean, we could provoke it. We could go to war right now with China if we wanted to, or we just kind of wait. Let's wait because our cruisers aren't quite done yet. Technology sharing agreement with Russia has been a great benefit to ship design. Hey, I think that's our first technology, belt and sloping armor deck configuration. Okay. All right, there's another cruiser. We'll assign that to Division 1, and we'll assign this one here to Division 2. And yeah, it looks like the Yagi will be done soon. This gives us with a nice little monthly balance. We have 21,000 saved up. We could consider trying to develop, make use of this new armor scheme and develop some heavy cruisers, or do we perhaps wait until we have bigger docks? I think maybe waiting until we have bigger docks will be good. In the meantime, we could build a couple more of these light cruisers. That would cost us 1,700 per month, and they would be finished in 22 months, so almost 2 years. So they probably wouldn't be involved in a war with China, but they would be there afterwards. So let's go ahead and develop a couple more of those, because you don't want your funds to get too high in comparison to your budget. Otherwise, they'll start cutting your budget. They say you have too much money, which is a pretty good example of military spending in general, or government spending, where you would rather waste the money on something rather than have your budget cut next year. So we have a windfall of tax revenue. We could strengthen the Navy, which would probably send us to war. We could do some social programs, which would give us some budget, but minus prestige. Or we can build railroads to increase the long-term prosperity. And I think that's pretty much always the good choice. You want long-term investment in your country. I think that raises your base resources. So we'll check our almanac. We're at 76, 73. We'll go ahead and do that. We're not at war yet. So 76, 73, 78, 76. So we gained 200 base resources. And those base resources are pretty important because I think they don't really go down when you end a war. When you end a war, typically your budget gets cut pretty good. All right. I guess we could develop 2 more light cruisers. Because again, that's the bread and butter of our fleet for now, is these light cruisers. They'll hopefully be able to take out heavy cruisers. They'll hopefully be able to take out battleships. All right, let's go. Are we at war yet? No. This will probably do it. Well, we can raise the budget and tension, or we could lose the prestige and not go to war yet. The problem is that Our new cruisers aren't quite worked up yet, but they should be in a couple of months. So even if we go to war right now, they won't be ready to go, but they will be before long. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, that actually didn't raise our attention with China at all. It raised it with Germany. And it gave us a little bit more money to mess around with. And money is always good. Our cruisers are starting to get worked up. I'm still worried, as McDaniel pointed out, that our Fujis are pretty garbage. We don't have very good heavy cruisers at all. We don't really have a way to get good heavy cruisers yet. We're still only at 7,000 tons in our dock size, and our guns, as we know, have not really improved. Once we get a 7-inch or better gun that's of -1 quality, we can probably look into investing into heavy cruisers. Okay, we have a lot of increases and decreases. It looks like it's going to be a net increase with China. That's probably war because it goes down 1, but it goes up 2. There it is. No opportunity for surprise attacks. We'll hit save. Let's go take a look at the war situation here. We're a little bit closer to parity now. We're at 60 versus 76 as far as the blockade power. And they have some forces deployed south here. 4 versus 16. Did Borneo actually get... Nope, Borneo's still building up the upgrade. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is assign our corvettes to trade protection. Let's see. This thing here, it's a little bit slow, but it is one of our heavier hitters that we have. So I guess we'll just kind of hang on to it as far as active fleet goes. That's considering throwing it into like a raider role, where it'll just stay out of the way a little bit, maybe get us some victory points on the side. But we'll probably need it in these initial fleet engagements if it, gets involved. The mix will be kind of weird as far as battleships versus cruisers and all that. And if we don't have everything available, we might get shorted where we're just throwing like light cruisers against a bunch of heavy cruisers with no heavy cruisers of our own. So let's go ahead and hit turn. All right, the first fleet is a cruiser action up near Hokkaido. So let's go ahead and generate the battle. Yep, and there it is. It's involved in our first fight, where all our slower light cruisers are up here as well. So if we lose any of this stuff other than the Osama, it will hurt, but it won't be the worst thing ever. So we have, if we have to, we have a gun here we can fall back on. And that's really all the assets that we have for this battle. So let's go ahead and speed up a little bit until we get, all right. So what I like to do is I like to set this to line ahead, turn off the torpedoes so I can kind of control them manually. Let's go to squad max, move to an intercept course, turn off the torpedoes, squad max, go to intercept course. The AI is not great at aiming torpedoes. Okay, so we're going to go that way a little bit. Oh boy, yeah, we are really outnumbered. We might consider, what's our objectives here? Just inflict damage. This is just a straight up fight. All right. They have a lot of corvettes involved in this battle as well. We could go down here a little bit. Let's set our speed to 20, so we're going the same as the Osama. And we have to be careful because the ship that sticks out is going to get targeted by everything, which is kind of like a old Chinese saying that the nail that sticks out gets hammered. All right, we're getting straddled. So let's change course a little bit here. I don't like these early fights. 20 knots for the Chi Yang class. Okay. So with these things being only 21 knots, it would be very difficult to close in Let's go ahead and go to squad max. We want to get out ahead of the Osama a bit. I don't think anyone has hit anyone yet. Yeah, it's just a bunch of missing. It started to rain. It's just going to be a matter of who can score the first hits and how much damage does it do. So we've taken one hit to the secondary battery on the Osama. Let's slow them down a little bit. We'll let the Osama take lead. Go to 20. The Osama got hit again, so let's close range a little bit. And that'll also adjust our course, make it harder for them to hit us. The Osama is flooding slightly. Yeah, I'm kind of outgunned here, I think. We have 4 8-inch guns versus 4 8-inch guns, but they have 2 heavy cruisers with that armament. Now, if we could score like a good hit and just kind of slow down one of their ships, that would give our light cruisers at least a chance to fly in there and, you know, deal some damage, maybe get a torpedo into them. And if we could just, sink something in these early engagements, that would help us out. In fact, how bad is the Osama looking? Okay, so it's starting to flood a little bit. So before things get too dire, let's go ahead and just retreat the Osama towards the south. Let's move these cruisers over here and see if we can't maybe sink a corvette. Nope. Not very likely. Those corvettes are pretty nimble, it seems. We're losing sight. All right, we got heavy rain. This will be our chance to disengage a little bit here. Maybe we can catch one of these corvettes on its own and sink it with our cruisers. We're scoring hits. No visible damage to it yet, as we're getting outgunned by a corvette. Okay. I mean, if we can sink it, that would be pretty good for us. It's just a corvette, but getting, a kill, getting a minor victory, I'm sure we won't get any prestige for this battle. Oh, and there we got misunderstood signals. And that is why I like captain mode, generally. Uh-oh. We're going to lose contact. Okay. All right, what is that? Oh, come on. No. All right. We want to keep in contact if we can. It's only taking light damage. I wonder what the armor looks like on this thing. Sometimes they're very heavily armored for corvettes. All right. Let's just keep going. I'm doing it 2 minutes at a time, essentially. Unless there's like some very sharp maneuvering that needs to happen, I'll do like 2 or 3 minutes at a time. Kind of make the fights go a little bit faster. They can be pretty drawn out at times in this game. All right. How's the Osama looking? Okay, so it's disengaged. Let's go ahead and slow it down to cruising mode so we don't burn out the engines. We want that available for every engagement for now. Okay. They always turn away right when I get right about into torpedo angle. So in this era with these short-range torpedoes, you have to be sort of parallel and slightly ahead of them because the torpedo has to be launched in a trajectory that goes ahead of the ship. So let's go ahead and see if we can hit it. We can. And the high and low, I don't know if some people know this, but nope, that misses. The high and low is not your chances of hitting with a torpedo. That's the speed that it's being launched at, high speed versus low speed. So low speed will have more endurance on the torpedo, so it'll have longer range, but it'll move slower. In the high speed, it's shorter range, but it moves faster. So we've torpedoed this thing. It almost has to go down. We'll cut our speed down to cruising, and we'll head up here towards this port and see if we can't interrupt. Oh, there we go. There we go. Put our speed up again and see if we can't catch something. All right, we caught the whole fleet. Oh boy. Okay. Let's break off. We got our kill. What? Hang on. We got our. Hang on. Is that thing slow? Can we? Which torpedo side did we use? Let's fire torpedoes. So our port side has been expended, so we want them on the right side of the ship. If this thing's slow, oh, that's another. Okay. I was hoping that was a light cruiser that was moving slow, and we could maybe put a torpedo into it. But it's just another corvette. Okay. This is why I wanted the double launchers on our other light cruiser, because just having one shot per side, not great. We'll cut our speed down a little bit here to make our guns more accurate. If you're going at maximum speed, apparently there's a gunnery penalty. So if you go max speed -2, it'll help you hit a little bit more often. We'll actually cut the speed down a little bit more. Okay, so the max speed on this thing's 12 knots, so we'll go down to like 14. Because we still want to keep our speed up a little bit in case another ship shows up. Because it'll take us a couple minutes to get back up to speed, and in that time you can be pretty vulnerable. Okay. Let's hoping we hit the steering gear and it was going into a circle. Once it does that, I like to cut my speed down to cruising when they're going in circles, and then sort of, drive back and forth just outside the range of torpedoes. It's surprisingly hard for the AI, including your own, to hit a ship with torpedoes when it's just doing circles, like when the rudder is broken, because the torpedoes will try to aim ahead of the ship on its current trajectory, but it's always turning, so you're going to miss most of the time unless the ship is going pretty slow and you are essentially right on top of them. Okay, we're running low on ammo, but this thing here looks like it's on fire. It's just about, it's got light rain, so maybe that'll help put it out. So let's keep on pursuing this. Maybe we can put a torpedo into it and finish it off. Torpedoes are your, hey, I really want to make sure this thing dies. Because sometimes you can cripple a ship and it'll be sitting there burning or whatever for ages, but it never actually goes down. And then in the post-battle report, you look at it and it's still alive. It's a little bit frustrating when you put in a lot of work to, try to sink a ship. All right. Nope, he's maneuvering. He's dodging still. For a little corvette, this thing is putting up a fight. Okay. So let's put one into it. Oh, we went too far. We'll circle back around. Looks like the rain has let off. Is there anything here to attack us? No. Looks like they, yes, we'll, all right, it is sunk. We'll pick up survivors and then go home. Go back into cruising mode. Yep, we want the Sama to go into port. It took some damage there. It's starting to flood a little bit. All right. So we took light damage to all of our ships. We did light damage to the cruisers we were shooting at, and we sank 2 corvettes. It's a little win. Oh, it's a major victory. Our docks are complete. Enemy fleets are dominating around our home ports. No trade warfare just yet, because they don't really have the ships to spare, and neither do we. So let's keep on building up our dock size. That's pretty much mandatory. Like almost no matter what, we're going to keep money aside for building our docks up because we are just really far behind. most major nations. Okay. So the Asama, good thing I sent it home. Looks like it was damaged a little bit more than we thought because it's being repaired for 2 turns. That's sort of the thing about this early warfare is that your ships don't have good damage control. You don't have anything really unlocked as far as research goes and technologies and whatnot. So even a minor flood can develop over time. And you really want to, if you think you're in danger, you want to slow your ships down when you're sending them back home to port, which seems a little bit contradictory because you want to get them home before they flood. But if they're moving at higher speed, there's a chance that you'll rupture like the bulkheads and whatnot, and you'll increase your flooding. So it's a little bit of a gamble. Go fast and get home with, less flooding, or go fast and sink your ship. So let's go ahead next turn. Looks like it's another cruiser action. We're not going to have, oh, we have our fast cruisers, but we're not going to have the Asama. Oops. Anyway, well, let's go back to normal. All right, so we go up there. Let's turn our torpedoes off. And it's a haze, so there's a good chance we won't even run into the enemy in this battle. Although it is daylight now, or oh, it's nighttime now actually. Looks like daylight is coming. Going in 5-minute increments. All right, so we have clear weather now. So let's do a search line. We'll go up to 15 knots. All right, there they are. So we're going to go back into our battle formation. We're going to start building up some speed. Speed is life. And we're fighting heavy cruisers, which is not great for us. But we are faster than them. The problem is, if this designation is correct, the Chen Wei, it's slow, but it's heavily armored. Like our 4-inch guns aren't going to do much other than hopefully, as McDaniel suggested, it might set some stuff on fire, break some equipment. But they have 14 6-inch guns, which will absolutely tear through us. So what we're going to depend on here is perhaps getting like one high-speed run to get close to them and launch the torpedoes, but we really have nothing to distract them. What are our objectives? Okay. I mean, if they score any hits on us, we're near miss on us. Okay, let's change our course. Sort of zigzag a little bit as we approach. Oh, okay. Yep, we're just gonna take hits left and right. How's that looking? I mean, we're taking some hits, but we're tanking them so far. As I say that, we take a good hits. And can we close on the second? There, okay. This might be our only shot at hitting one of these things, because we're taking enough damage, we're going to get forced to pull out. Fire torpedoes. We don't have angle on anything. What is going on here? Let's slow down a little bit. Actually, let's speed up. Oh, never mind. We can't speed up. Okay. Yeah, we're in some trouble. Let's just get out of there, I think. We can't even launch on anyone. Man, that really stinks. That really stinks. We have no angles on anything, really? Alright, so it looks like the rudder might be jammed on the Agano. Oh, man. Oh, hang on. This might be our chance. There we go. Let's straighten out a little bit after that launch. We got him. We got him with a torp. We got a damaged rudder. We'll keep the Kashiwara going after him. Okay. Straighten out. Launch. Nope. And launch. If that doesn't hit, okay, yeah, we're gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Oh boy, yeah, Kashiwara is crippled. Well, we might lose both of these light cruisers. But their Chen Wing is starting to slow down, it looks like. How bad off is this thing? Okay, the flooding isn't too bad. They're withdrawing. We want to withdraw. So it looks like sort of a mutual retreat. Okay, we'll just sort of, you know, chug along, go home. Not a great outcome to the battle. We'll go up to 6 knots so we don't rupture anything. And who knows, the Chen Wei might, let's say no to ending the scenario just yet. Give them more time to flood out. Hey, we got them. We got them. So we took heavy damage to one of our light cruisers, but we sank one of their heavy cruisers. Let's check out the ship details. So we took, I mean, just we took 20 medium hits. That's probably 26-inch shells. Oh boy, yeah, look at that. Just an endless amount of 6-inch shells. And the Chenhui, uh, it's it only took 4 hits from our guns. Like we only hit it 4 times, but that one torpedo, the one torpedo is what did it. Okay. See, you can see right there that their high speed increased the flooding. That's why you really want to slow down when you get hit by torpedoes. And they were fine. They were going home right here at 620, and they had 0 flooding. But their high speed increased, ruptured a bulkhead, and it also increased the flooding. So they essentially they sank themselves by not slowing down. So let's get out of there. We gain a prestige, which is valuable. Borneo has increased in size. So let's go ahead and send the other Akashi down to Borneo. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's do active fleet, and we'll just move it instead of doing foreign station, so it doesn't like move around or do anything weird. All right, we're approaching the 45-minute mark. I feel like this is a very good start to the war. We've sunk 2 corvettes already and a heavy cruiser. And in summary, they have 5 heavy cruisers left. They still have all their battleships. Like we haven't seen their battleships at all. They essentially 5 and 5 on their cruisers. They're running out of corvettes, but I mean, I'm not doing raid warfare right now anyway. Although, now that my light cruisers are in action, basically my good ones, we could consider putting the Osama onto raiding mode. So that would give us a chance to, do some trade damage to them, chip in a little bit more victory points here and there, because right now the victory points are fairly even. And I think that's mostly from them blockading us. They probably still, yep, we're still blockaded. We're sort of outnumbered as far as blockade goes, 50 to 86. Anyway, we will save the game, and it is August. We'll see you next time. Thanks again for hanging out with me, and Sail safe.